So fingers crossed everything works. Okay, so a little bit of introduction. I looked up the standings for these teams. They faced each other before. Their division is small. It is 2 teams. But there are guest teams to sort of flesh it out so they don't only face each other. But so far it's been pretty even. I think the win rate is like 66 versus 55%. So they know each other a bit by now, and they're pretty evenly matched, so it could go either way, so it should be exciting. Oh, we have Zero Vitals joining. He's a sub from my own team. And there's another comment on my awful, terrible voice. Thank you very much. I say another because someone always mentions it every time I stream, which is once every like 6 months. First ban is Diva. Not a meta ban, but they got first pick. They can ban whatever they want. Chances are this next one is Johanna or Rhaegar, but these teams know each other better than I do. So it could be anything. Nah, it's Joe. Hard not to in this day and age. Hopefully we get a patch soon, because first pick is strong. Let me just do this. Second ban from Caffeinated Knights. Diablo. Pretty good on Tomb. Lots of walls, tight corridors, and bushes. Next ban. If it's not Rhaegar, I'm turning in my Master's Badge. I'm assuming Caffeinated Knights are target banning. I'm assuming Vendetta is meta banning, yeah. No gentleman's agreement to just not use them. And first pick's Dukov. He's also very strong, not quite as strong as the other two, but he's very common to be seen if you can get him. But second and third pick coming shortly. Do they pick a healer? Do they pick their tank? Do they first lock Cho'Gall? Who knows? No. Offlane though. Some teams like to hold that till the end. It's going to give Caffeinated Knights the opportunity to counterpick it if they have someone that counterpicks Hogger. But Hogger's good for camps and spinning around in small maps. He can rotate. Not a bad pick. A noob, solid tank. Don't know what they're going to combo with it yet. On the other side, Garrosh to throw into those silences. Sylvanas to just pump out all kinds of damage. Assist on push. Throw her own silences or mind controls at 10s. Very solid. No weird off meta, no niche heroes quite yet. Looking pretty standard so far. And we have the third ban. This is the first real ban for Vendetta. They can counter ban someone if they have the option. Leoric. Fairly solid offlaner. I don't think he does particularly well against a Hogger, but you know, they know better than I do what they are capable of and what they're afraid of. And Tyrande, not a very common healer. I see some people play it. I have a teammate who likes her, but she's definitely not one of the top healers you see in the meta. So I'm assuming it's one that Vendetta has used to good effect in the past. And if you follow up a burrow charge with Lunar Flare into Impale, that's a lot of stun time. Anduin, pretty solid healer. Vala, pretty strong DPS. With a beefy enough front lines, they can both stay safe. Junkrat, one of the most annoying heroes. depending on what build he goes, the traps and the mines can do a lot of work. You can also put out a decent amount of damage, move around real quick. It's hard to gank him sometimes. And Blaze. Blaze is pretty beefy, keeps other people safe. Sylvanas Junkrat's a lot of DPS. Stukov contributes. And Deathwing, not what I expected. They already had an offlaner, but what's wrong with 2? Keep the Vala extra safe. We'll have to see how they use it. Obviously, they know how to play it. I can see some CC chains on both sides. So it comes down to, who gets the good engage, who is more patient, who waits for the right moment, and how they play. Let's change the view to in-game before I mess it up. So far so good. I haven't made any massive streaming errors. And once it loads in, I'll introduce the teams in a more official capacity. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Both teams look to have pretty good solid heroes for picking up gems. Bit of poke to take them down. Well, started on the red side, so SCH on Anub, Indigo Zap on Hogger, Zalgo Jack on Deathwing, Danielson on Vala, and Joserus on Anduin. And on the left side, Osmanthus on Garrosh, Love Dart Stukov, Arc on Blaze, Philippe on Junkrat, and Grey Color on Sylvanas.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go. Everyone going mid. Pretty basic. Everyone likes to throw some abilities out, test the waters a bit. Anub gets thrown in, burrows out with the Unstoppable. Deathwing does a lot of damage to the Junkrat. Blaze goes in, but doesn't find much. Both teams dealing damage, no one really in a lot of danger. No one really has an advantage. The Vendetta is clearing the wave a little bit faster. We'll have to see if that is a trend that continues. Hogger doing Hogger things a little bit faster than Blaze. Top lane, teams are rotating out. Fairly even so far. Hogger did clear first, so they have a little experience lead, but it's gonna disappear. Burrows in onto Garrosh, doesn't get thrown for his trouble, so no punish. There was no real DPS close, so there's not like Garrosh was in any danger. Camps are now up. Both teams still brawling. Got talents up for anyone curious. Big CC chain onto Garrosh, but I was gonna say he had armor, and he did, but it wasn't enough. That they focused him down, and that's first blood. Hogger got the angle in the top camp, clearing it pretty quick. Vala's helping. Looks like Junkrat was hoping for some help, didn't get it, but he's gonna start the camp anyway. It's gonna be a little later, so we'll have to see if Vendetta's camp goes up to the wall and then meets the other camp. It could be advantageous to be a little late, but they're also not in lanes properly because of it, which means Hogger gets the bottom camp. And they also have an experience lead, so they shouldn't be able to contest. And yeah, and that's what I was talking about. The camp meets the wall just as the other camp comes out, so it does a little structure damage, but then it becomes basically a free clear. But bottom camp is not going to be a free clear, as Anub dives in on the Blaze. Still a big fight mid. Anduin gets Junkrat mined backwards and destroyed. So kills are 1-to-1. experience is evened up. Siege damage a little bit in advantage for Vendetta, but gem count, Caffeinated Knights have turned in some, but it's about equal. So as I said before, these teams are pretty close. No one's got a decided advantage quite yet, and just some pokes back and forth. A little bit of a gank attempt onto the Hogger, but he just walks out. They are rotating all over the place. Hard to tell where the next action is going to be. Not much going on. Camps have been done. There are turn-ins available. So now the focus of the game tends to shift towards, you know, keeping vision, turning in, blocking turn-ins, as we see top, as we see bottom. Hogger defends the 5 gem turn-in, but it's really Deathwing who needs to get his in. But Vendetta completely gives up top, maybe hoping to turn in bot, but it gives, if they wanted, Caffeinated Knights would have free turn in top. But it looks like they're just following the Deathwing, preventing him from turning his in. Sylvanas does get the interrupt. Constant action. These teams are not stopping the fight everywhere, which I like to see. That's one of the reasons why. Ooh, nice save. The Anduin grab just as the trap went off. And Deathwing pumps damage. Stukov's low. That might be enough to win a turn-in, but Garrosh is not afraid. What I was going to say is that one of the reasons I picked these teams is because I thought that they would be exciting and like to fight, and I was not disappointed. Garrosh is turning into 7, take him to 39. That's just enough if Sylvanas gets hers. The Junkrat Mine is enough. Caffeinated Knights gets the first objective. Chat doesn't seem to be very active. If someone wants to just say anything so I know that it's not frozen. Despite the fact that blue web weavers are coming in, Vendetta is going up pretty far, not afraid to keep clearing waves, keep pushing. We have Hogger defending a lone bottom. The main push is mid. In fact, the only push is mid. 5 heroes mid. Blaze is now going bottom. Nope, he's not. He just mounted and came back. So they're going to get this bottom wall real easy. Deathwing flies right in on top of the team. Takes almost no damage for his trouble. He does have that armor. And Caffeinated Knights sort of disengaged. Hogger is alone. Gets stunned out. He does get his spin, but not in time. The blaze stun was a bit too long and gets destroyed. His gems get picked up, but top is free pushing with no one's clearing, and they're just brawling mid. Anduin super low, gets Stukov'd in the back. Garrosh is low, but with 35 armor, he's basically at half health for a normal hero. Top does get cleared eventually, but the wall goes down. Bottom hardly touched. I missed the Vala kill, sorry about that. Junkrat pushes back. Sylvanas traits. Mid keep, mid fort. Might go down. Oh, we have a new viewer. Yeah, mid fort goes down. So it's a fairly successful first objective for Caffeinated Knights. And top is getting very low, but won't fall. Camps are back up. Turn-ins are available. Caffeinated Knights don't quite have enough for the second, but they're pretty close, and all of their gems are in, so it just takes sort of one person. Not Junkrat, he only has 3. Deathwing has 53, doesn't get interrupted. And there's Vendetta's first objective coming. Deathwing lights some structures on fire as Vala gets rooted by Junkrat. That's the big power of Junkrat, those moving traps. Gotta be careful for them, especially when you're right next to the enemy team. But the objective's coming in. Mid is being defended first. Sylvanas is top. Blaze looks like he's going bottom. Free defense for Sylvanas. And with Vala just now respawning, Caffeinated Knights feels very confident. They also have their armor camp to push up really far to defend. Hogger gets the wall, keeps on pushing. The main action is still mid. As a noob gets pushed into the wall, drops his cocoon. We do have heroics in. I'll talk about them in a minute if I get a free moment. Garrosh super low, gets stunned. Vala gets the confirm. And they go in on Stukov. Obviously, Light Bomb was chosen as it stuns him out and he gets killed. So there's 2 important kills for Vendetta. And they go straight to boss as the objective ends exactly as they get them. So that's perfect timing for them. I don't see Caffeinated Knights interrupting this if they even see it at all. But I do see them getting a free turn in. So it's going to be boss versus second objective. We'll have to see who gets more value. 2 forts are down for Vendetta. Well, only 1 is almost down for Caffeinated Knights. It looks like they're not going to push in with it. They're just going to defend the objective. Constant pushing. Anyway, we have Taunt, Wailing Arrow, Master Shove, Bunker, and Riptire versus Cocoon, Bellowing Aurora, Rain of Vengeance, Hortipult, and Light Bomb. We've seen some of those alts already. It is level 13. But these teams won't give me a chance to chill out. They just want to keep fighting. Coming down from top. Mid's already clear. Bottom being cleared by Hogger. He should be fine. Unless the gank comes in, which it looks like it might. Garrosh is flanking. He does have the spin. He gets it off in time. Doesn't get thrown. That was really close. But bottom fort will go down because of the 5-man push. Deathwing's clearing top. Talents are even. There's a big slow, but he didn't take the route. He probably took the reset, if I know Stukov. Yeah. Super popular right now. But the disengage and Deathwing finally clears top. Almost loses his... Oh, maybe loses a tower. Well, those things do a lot of damage. Yeah, loses a tower, but not too much else. Wall is still mostly intact. Camp being picked up for Vendetta. And Vendetta has 89 gems. That is a turn in basically no matter what point of the game you're at. Caffeinated Knights takes bot camp. And it's a fight over the turn in now. Hogger continues to soak. Garrosh almost just watches a noob turn in, but does get the interrupt. As they are outnumbered 5-4. Vendetta doesn't want to push the issue. Very smart. Hogger looks like he's clearing bot camp. Yeah, he is. But he's also getting rotated on, and he just used Hog Wild, so he's in danger. But his team is behind him. He does... he avoids the trap, gets the super safety life grab. Life grab? You know what I'm talking about. Anduin save, pulls him out just to be safe. Hortipult's in, bounces off his own Hortipult, kind of maybe going the other direction. Junkrat, barely gets out, but Stukov is super low. Goes down. There we go. There's a kill. Riptire comes through, does some damage, knocks back, enables the disengage. But now, with 110 gems, Vendetta's getting a turn in. I don't see how that doesn't happen. Deathwing's half. He might want to fly, but he's going to turn in first at the very least. They could push down the fort, but the minion wave will do that itself. That's fine. And with the Hogger spreading bombs, the Caffeinated Knights did have enough time to get their camp in response, so that's going to help them de-push mid. And the lanes are pushed up fairly far, so there's no focused aggression quite yet. Deathwing lands at full health. And here comes the mid battle again. We've seen a lot of these. And they're always fun. 16 versus 16, experience almost even. Slight structure advantage, but also objective advantage. Just balance each other out as far as I'm concerned for the moment. Blaze charges in on Deathwing. Garrosh finishes his quest. There's a taunt in the back, but Garrosh is alone. Gets blown up. Vala does have that Manticore. Deathwing maybe going a little deep, but he doesn't get too punished for it. Bunker comes out to save Blaze, but the Vala stun is there as he comes out. Vala is much more dangerous than she was 2 levels ago. Top fort went down for free. Big wave takes down the wall for free, and the push continues mid. Stukov gets the reset. He's going for these execute lurker strains on Deathwing, but by himself, I don't think he's going to get them. He did get, I think, the reset. He keeps getting those resets. He's gotten about 4 in a row now. Hogger stuck. Can't help but walk through it. But again, 1 versus 4 or 5. Yeah, it was 5. He's just a healer after all. 76 gems. Vendetta has another turn in. They're going to take bot camp before they do it. Boss is available. Caffeinated Knights are heading right for it. The turn-in's there. Shadow Dagger went out. That is, like, the mark is still there. So that was probably the last frame possible. The objective made the boss disappear. So that's a little unfortunate. Although Vendetta would have seen that they were on it and maybe could have come for the invade. It would have been an interesting fight. Yeah, Trey, I'm not sure what you're asking about, but welcome to the stream. This is, I think, the most viewers I've ever had. Deathwing walks over the trap, so that's just, good counter to Junkrat. Push is coming in mid, but the spiders are really low already. Bottom spiders are doing work on the wall with the siege camp, so they rotate down to clear that, which means that the mid push gets in. And this keep could go down. But they're not really hard committing. They're worried more about no one's died yet. Bottom got cleared in the meantime. So they're playing it safe. And top had a long way to go. The spider's almost dead just from walking. Walking is tiring, I can confirm. There's a big silence from Stukov. That was clearly a reset. He hit 6 people. He uses his arm, hits the Deathwing, doesn't accomplish too much. So I think the Deathwing was a decent choice with his built-in unstoppable. That objective pushed the lanes up pretty far, but didn't accomplish too much. It kept them in the lead. They're closer to 20s. Their camp is available, and boss is available. So if they take the camp and get 20 and go for boss, I think that would be a decent position to be in. Although they don't have a turn in yet, and Caffeinated Knights do. Looks like posturing around boss, but 20s will be here any second. Actually, for both teams, because the lanes are so pushed, Caffeinated Knights got more experience quicker. So almost the exact same time 20s come in. But there's an invade onto the siege camp. I believe there are enough people showing in lane with those minions that, Caffeinated Knights clearly knows about it now, but there's nothing they can do. 20s, we got Titanic Might, Bolt of the Storm, more push, bunker, cannonball, versus Rewind with a noob, which is totally overpowered. Stood in the Fire, Farflight Quiver, Secret Stash, and Inner Fire. Vala's going to do a lot of damage from more range. But Garrosh gets a big double throw. There's a silence and a taunt, and Anduin is the first to fall. Hogger, too far away to help, and this should be a disengage, and it should be a turn in for Caffeinated Knights. With no healer, they're in a bad position. Turn in shouldn't end the game. They should be able to defend. Deathwing can poke. We'll see how long he can poke for without dying, or if poking makes him die. He gets the fear off, but Sylvanas did not get feared and pumps damage. So now there's a turn in without a Deathwing. That is an unfortunate situation, on top of which they're delaying their turn in to take the boss. With 2 heroes down, consolation prize goes to Vendetta with the siege camp. But there's no way they're stopping this boss unless, you know, they all stand in the boss stun and die or something. But I don't see that happening. They aren't being denied by the turn in this time. This time they get their boss. They're delaying it slightly to try and match it with the objective, but it also delayed the objective enough for Anduin to respawn, and Deathwing's up in 20 by the time the spiders get here. He should be up for the defense. Vala, I think that helping hand was necessary because the Garrosh stun was coming, the Blaze stun was coming, and then Vala was looking very squishy. But she's still alive. Farflight Quiver, she can hurt this boss from a distance. Fort gets turned off. And the spiders are here, so top lane is definitely going down, and it's a super vulnerable lane. We'll see how much they can push past. Deathwing gets some good fire damage. And there's a stun from Vala, but this boss needs to die. This spider needs to die. Shield's going down. Riptire comes out. But the spider's down. Boss won't last too much longer. Core shield's at 90, core health at 80%. Deathwing with that hitbox slightly bigger than the visual burns down Junkrat. Anduin gets the finish. The other lanes are still pushing, but there are kills to be had. Garrosh should die. Yeah, the noob stun confirms it. And this game is back and forth. At every point in this game, pretty much. This game could have gone one way or the other. It just... super close for these teams. One has an advantage and the other takes it back. Clearly, Caffeinated Knights is in the advantage now with structures. But with 3 heroes dead, that can change very quickly. This keep is definitely going down, and now the question is, can Caffeinated Knights defend? 2-man defense, there's no pressure with minions, it's just heroes, but they're all 5 and they are healthy. Solance does a lot of damage, but I don't know if she does that much. Bunker comes out to save Blaze, Junkrat respawns, core shields are down. Do you just right-click core? Do you fight the team? That's always a tough call. Sylvanas gets first kill. Junkrat gets the Vala. Oof, they're dying. 45%, 41%. Tukov took so much fire damage. They're so low. A noob bailed. Probably a good choice. He only had about 2 hits left before dying. Final verdict, 37% to 65%. 3 alive versus 1 alive. Lane's super pushed, so there's not going to be any value from minions to win this game. This is exactly the game I was hoping for. Very exciting. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who you'd put your money on. A noob pretending like his positioning matters. As long as he doesn't go forward and get caught, he's just hiding. Garrosh making sure he's not trying to solo a camp. I don't see how any sane person would do that. But with camp pushing, they could steal the camp easily before the other team spawns, but they're not being risky. You know, there's always a chance a noob burrows in, rewinds, cocoons, just to buy a time for his team. So it's the safe play, and 1 camp is not going to win you the game. And if that miracle happens and you lose a few members, that'll lose you the game. So I don't hate it. They take the bottom camp instead. Very smart. Mid camp gets free clear. Level 23s on both sides. There's no level 23 talent tier, unfortunately. And we just wait and see who finds the best engage and who wins the next fight. Boss is up in 52 seconds. Neither team has turn-in. They're both somewhat close, but yeah, both teams turning in what they have. Both teams would be on the same turn-in. They've turned in the same amount each time. Very, very evenly matched. And the lanes are about evenly pushed. Structures even, top keep down for both sides. I don't think I've ever seen a game be so close. Kills 11 to 11 just to be, you know, add on to what's the same. Caffeinated Knights now do have turn in, and they're starting. They're turning in top and bottom. Hogger sees the bottom and is interrupting. I don't know how many more abilities he has, but he misses one of the characters, so there's only 3 more that need to be turned in. Here's a big fight. Light bomb gets negated by the bunker, but the flame after the bunker dies is enough. Here's a big stun from Deathwing follow-up. Junkrat goes down, 2 killed. Vendetta does have turn-in. They also have a 2-man advantage. They have their choice of how they want to play this. Boss is available. A noob's turning in 1 gem. They need all 3 other members to turn in. Looks like, yeah, they're going boss. They understand how powerful that is. And with the keep down, boss could probably win on his own. Although it does buy time for Junkrat and Blaze to respawn. But with the boss and the turn in, although, oh, that was close. They almost snuck it. Junkrat's there, Hogger's there to keep the delay, but he's alone versus 3. This is exciting. Will he make it out? He gets slowed by the Stukov silence that hit 3 times for. I don't think that was a reset. But Hogger's still out by himself. Bolt of the Storm probably confirms this. Nope. He makes it away with a Hortapult. And his healer's there. Sylvanas had the Haunting Wave but didn't follow through. But somewhere in there, I missed it. The blue team got Webweavers. So it's not boss and Webweavers, it's boss versus Webweavers. Sylvanas does go down. There is a 5-man push mid. They're walking right past the Weavers. So Stukov, Light Bomb, not even necessary. Boss is on core. There's a keep in the way. They're killing the keep first. They could just walk around it. But I think the boss with the team here is enough. That was nuts. And Vendetta takes game 1. GG's. So, yeah, if you wanted an exciting match, I can't wait for game 2. Oh, I have an observer thing to do. I'd go BAM! And we wait for the game results. So, stats. Hero damage, Deathwing did a ton. That flame, he got some good angles on it. Junkrat was close. Siege damage, Hogger and Blaze did a ton, but Junkrat and Vala did a ton. I mean, that game lasted a fair amount of time. 0 minutes, so lots of siege to be had. Kills, it was 11 to 15, not too high, and it was really even most of the game until that just up to the end. That was pretty cool. I don't know if there's any talent questions anyone has. I think these, from what I saw, they were fairly standard builds. But yeah, I guess we're just waiting for the next one. Oh, my mouse isn't hidden. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It looks like Caffeinated Knights are taking first pick. So we're waiting for the map choice. Oh, I can do this too. So I'll update the score. And just waiting for the link for the next lobby. Hopefully they don't forget to invite me again. They actually had the game ready to go when I Discord messaged them last time. I think they just forgot that I was here. Well, this chick Lauren, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask, because I have nothing else to say until the game starts, and I'm bad at filling dead air. But I do know a lot about this game, so I can tell you pretty much anything. I'm waiting to find out what the map pick is. Looks like we're going to Infernal Shrines. Ah. Whose fiance are you? Sorry to be pedantic, but I'm an English major. But which team are you one more time. Which team are you cheering for? That should have been an easy question to ask. Philippe. Okay, so Caffeinated Nights. I could have been a math major, but English was easier. And I always choose the easier way out. I think we're missing one person to join the game, and then we'll be good to go. Just chilling. Yes. Waiting for the last player and then them to pick their strategies and all that jazz. Yes, there is a delay because the teams actually are allowed to watch the stream and I can see everything. So if there wasn't a delay, they could just see what the other team is all the time. So there's a 25-second delay from what I say to what you hear. But the objective on Infernal Shrines is every few minutes there will be a shrine that spawns with a bunch of little minions, and whichever team kills 40 minions first will earn a Punisher, which is a big hulking monster with a ton of HP that walks down the lane. Every 15 seconds, it jumps on a hero and stuns them, and then does a bunch of damage. Then it goes back to attacking the buildings. And so you generally prioritize heroes that can, you know, do damage to monsters. I don't know if you know enough about the game to know that or not, but since you said you're sort of new, I thought I'd explain. Vendetta did win that last game, and one of their heroes seems to have disappeared after winning. Hard to rage quit rage quit when you win. I don't know what the reason is. I'm just making up stories, so don't take that too literally. Looks like they're getting a sub or a fifth member to join, but it might just take a minute. So, in the meantime, thanks for hanging out. I mean, hopefully it's entertaining for you. I don't get anything out of this. I'm not a streamer. I don't have donations or subscriptions or anything like that. I just do this for fun. So, on behalf of the teams who are playing, thanks for hanging out and cheering for them. And yeah, I'm having a good time. That first game was something else. Super back and forth. Very hard to tell what was going to happen next. The teams very rarely let up. I didn't see too many, long disengages where you could, or moments where the other team was hiding out of vision. It was just fight, fight, fight. And they did take their camps. It's not like they were too hard fighting instead of doing actual objectives. They were still soaking. They were still doing camps. They were just always in each other's faces, very aggressive. That's what I like to see. It's not always the best way, but it's definitely the funnest. I mean, I was about to say, we're just waiting for one person to finish a game in Storm League, but I mean, I'm not exactly hiding chat or anything. You all saw what they were saying. What else can I say about Infernal Shrines? It's a 3-lane map, so it's a bit bigger than the last one was 3 lanes as well, but they were close together. This one's a bit bigger. There is no boss camp. The objective is basically a boss. So drafting heroes, you tend to want ones that are a little better at soloing or rotating better. But yeah, that's pretty much the main difference. The objective on Spider Queen, which we just played, you actually have to pick up gems, which makes some heroes a little bit more dangerous to play. Because if you are soloing your lane as, for example, like a Tassadar, who's very long ranged, you kill the minions, but you don't get the gems unless you walk up into danger zone. So it definitely changes who is a better hero on the map. I just realized these players are generally Masters and Diamonds players. I thought I was... I thought I picked the league that was at the bottom. Apparently I picked at the top. Valkymer didn't name his leagues very clearly. Oh well, I mean, I still got excitement. I thought these were low ranked and they tend to brawl and stuff, but it turns out I was backwards and these are high ranked and they still tend to brawl. But let's see. Nothing going on in Discord, no messages, just waiting. Shouldn't be more than a couple more minutes. Storm League games. Well, I was watching Bahamut's stream earlier today, and he did have a Volskaya go about 38 minutes or something like that. They got to level 30 on both teams, which is the maximum. It doesn't go any higher than that, which does not happen often. This game is usually over in about 15 to 20. Well, I'm sure other streamers who are more professional would have some other scene to switch to and play music or have some little mini game, but I don't have any of that, so it's just me. Well, me and all of you. Oh, we have another member in the game. I figured if you wanted something more exciting, you could all talk more. So I don't feel too bad about being very, very boring. But with all 5 people on both teams, I would expect to see them asking each other if they're ready very soon. But they are not. So what do I know? There we go. The Vendetta team seems to be ready. We are waiting on not Infernal, what am I saying? We're waiting on Caffeinated Knights. Is he playing music? Is he singing? Is he humming? Is he dancing? What's he doing? All right. Caffeinated Knights are ready. So we should be going. And as always, well-programmed game. Once you click the start button, it takes about 10 seconds to actually start. And here we go. Caffeinated Knights has first pick, and that means first ban, which means they actually get bans. And as I'm now realizing, this is a much higher level match than I originally thought with the first one. Those bans are almost guaranteed to be specifically targeted on the other team. So that's another diva, same as the first game. Oh, sweet. He just sits there with his guitar while he waits. That's pretty cool. And last time it was Joe. This time it's Joe. I'm just building suspense. I'm willing to bet all of my fake money on it. I win. Double my fake money. And the second ban. Last time it was, I forget. But this time it's Deathwing. Deathwing did get a lot of damage. Got some good stuns. Did get picked off once or twice, but definitely provided some value. And the other ban is Rhaegar. They're taking the time to think about it. Maybe adjust to Deathwing being banned, but it's still Rhaegar. I've actually been playing some Valera in Quick Match. She's not my hero, but I'm trying to learn her. And she always talks about how she was trained by Rhaegar. But since everyone's playing Rhaegar, I end up killing Rhaegar, and then she starts bad-mouthing him. Anyway, first pick Hogger is going to the other team this time. So Stukov is available. He did get a lot of value last time, but they're opting to give it to Vendetta and see if they can get the same value. So I would expect to see him. Not guaranteed, but Junkrat, Stukov. Junkrat's a strong hero. Caffeinated Knights used him well. Higher rank teams, he's a very common ban. He's a very common choice because he's so annoying. And Stukov, especially once he gets that extra range and resets, can just be very safe and silence and damage and execute people. And a noob goes to their team, and Hanzo. So these teams are trading heroes quite a bit. Hogger and a noob switching, and Stukov. Hanzo's new to this series, this set. He can get some good angles on the shrines. I don't know if he's my first pick personally, but you know, in the hands of a good player, he can do a lot of work. And Mephisto ban, that's definitely target ban. Mephisto can be fun when teams are fighting over a shrine. There's one little contested area. He can get a lot of resets. I don't know if they've done him before, but no Uther main tank this game. He's supposed to be a healer, but he has the stun CC of a tank and some self-sustain and armor, so he's not quite as tanky as he used to be, but apparently they're worried about him coming up. Yatra should be happy. Here comes Tahaka and a Greymane. Greymane solid damage. A lot of teams like to pick Sonya on this map. So far no one has. It's still available, but not necessary. And with the Hogger and the Dahaka, I'm not really expecting to see him. Kel'Thuzad's fun. And there's the Tyrande, which was banned last game. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Tyrande to see why it was banned. And do they pick a real main tank, or do they pick like a Zarya or something? How spicy is this team? They're up 1-0. They can take a risk if they want. Murky. Well, it's definitely spicy. So is Lucio. Double support. Dahaka main tank. Unless you're going like Stukov. It could be Stukov main tank. We'll have to see what his level 1 is. If he goes reactive ballista spores, that could be a main tank indicator. This is going to get crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. The lobby got cancelled for some reason. It looks like they're going to pick Mei for their last character, but they're going to have to remake the game. So it looks like they're not going double support. It's not going to be quite as spicy. They're going to pick the Mei instead. A little disappointing. I wanted to see it, but all right. Philippe has restarted his game. He's back in. We should be going soon. It always feels weird seeing the ready button come up for me when I'm casting because I'm not doing anything. And here we go. It is possible that doing it this way messes up the replay, but who really cares? It's NEXOMANIA. It's for fun. And it gets in the game faster. It looks like all the heroes are the same. No one's cheating and switching, so all good. Infernal Shrines. With a Mei main tank. I'm actually legitimately a little bit disappointed that they switched. Also, it's possible that the teams were typing to each other. That's why Philippe left and not someone on the other team. The observers don't get to see the chat in the draft. We introduced the red team last time, so I'm going to start over here. We have Osmanthus on a noob, Grey Color on Hanzo, Ark on Hogger, Philippe on Kel'Thuzad, and Love Dart on Tyrande. Over on Vendetta side, we have Geosirus on Stukov, Zalgojak on Dahaka, Haldir on... I don't even know who that is. Who is that? They're all so close together. SCH on Junkrat, Danielson on Greymane, and Haldir on the Mei, right? And here comes the mid-brawl. Stukov playing it safe. Mei not playing it safe. Barely gets out with her life, uses the ice block and the dash just in time. Giving a few stacks to the Kel'Thuzad early. That's 3 for him of the 30 he needs. Osmanthus, very aggressive. Does lock in the Danielson Stukov for the chain, but the follow-up isn't there. So there's only one more stack. And no kill. Top lane, Hogger looks to get a little advantage. He's going to double soak, it seems. Philippe trying to get those chains, trying to get those stacks. Tanks bouncing back and forth. I'm not sure where the actual engage is, because neither tank was sort of with their team anymore. Just damage being put out wherever it can be found. I think Junkrat's mine should be up in a second. But they're not looking for anything terribly crazy. Caffeinated Knights is going straight for the camp on bottom instead of their one mid. And with 3 members of Vendetta nearby... Oh, here comes the Dahaka Burrow. That's what... they are going to invade. They have the mine on the point. So they give up a lot of stacks to Kel'Thuzad, who's at 11 already. But they do take both camps. So... assuming a good Kel'Thuzad gets his stacks anyway, it's not terrible trade. They aren't pushing with it. They are getting some wave clear priority, but they did leave top to get that. So they get for, half a second first. But Holdier just gets so much damage. Hanzo flips over the wall for the kill. And Kel'Thuzad's at 16. He has his ice spike now. So the Kel'Thuzad's definitely working out so far. First blood goes to Caffeinated Knights. And we should have some quiet time. I can go over a couple basic talents. Lunar Flare for range. On the Prowl. Phylactery. We have Chasing Traps. We do have the low blow. He's not tanking, obviously. So nothing too crazy. It is target practice for Hanzo. Camps being taken. Basically what you'd expect. We do have beetles and a bed of barbs for a noob, so that's interesting. Not my choice. I don't like beetles. But I don't play a noob. Alright, first shrine. Objective. Both teams clearing safely. Basic. After last game fighting constantly, these teams aren't even looking at each other at the moment. Caffeinated Knights was ahead, but all of a sudden now Vendetta's ahead. Back and forth. Dahaka going right into their team, just being a nuisance. Junkrat also being a nuisance with his mines. But now Hogger's here, and he's doing his infinite spin on the shrine with those angles, if you do it right, which he didn't quite do. He got a few spins around. You can go forever. Only 5 more for Vendetta needed. Kel'Thuzad at 23 stacks. Dahaka sacrificing himself just to buy time. Vendetta gets the objective. They're down 7s, and they're down a man, but the Protector is one of their teammates, so Protector. Punisher. That's the opposite of protect. Jump over the wall. Just what you'd expect. Kel'Thuzad still stacking. 26. It's only 4 minutes. Not too bad. But that wall is going down. Frozen Punisher. Those towers aren't doing any damage. Does Kel'Thuzad get a chain? No. Greymane goes in. I'm not sure what that's about, because that's just a dead Greymane. Maybe he just wanted that tower really bad. Meanwhile, Junkrat went top with the Haka. They're still down in experience, though, so that didn't really work out. They're losing their camp. There's no way May stops this. So, this is the first time, I would say, besides when the game ended last time, that one team is actually ahead. Caffeinated Knights, even though they lost the objective, is almost a full level ahead. They're doing very well. The first minute or so, they did seem behind. They lost the camp. They lost the objective. But they played it very well. Or, alternatively, Vendetta made some errors. One of the two. I'm not sure which one it was. And they seem to be, in a good spot. Kel'Thuzad only needs 4 more stacks, and then he's real dangerous. It will increase his spell bar by 75%, which, that's a lot of damage. But he's nowhere near the enemy team to get those stacks. He'll get them eventually. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry. But obviously the sooner the better. That was a very optimistic chain, but if he landed it... I mean, if you're not going to be near the enemy team, there's no harm in trying, right? Anubur is right in the moment he sees people. And the Hogger with his 10 gets the stun. There's a cocoon onto Stukov. May tried to save her team, did block the arrow, but then ate everything else. And Kel'Thuzad's done, and 3 members just died for Vendetta. So Cocoon, Dragon's Arrow, Starfall, Shadow Fissure, and Shockwave. We saw almost all those already. Actually, all of them. I didn't see the Starfall, but it came out. Versus 10's just coming in for Vendetta. Riptire, standard. Adaptation, Flailing Swipe, Iced Wall, and Greymane's undecided. But mid fort goes down. Kel'Thuzad, not sure what he's doing there. Just damaging the towers. Anu alone, just checking out the camp. He's not in too much danger. With 5 members here, this camp is definitely being taken. Hogger doing an infinite little spin. Well, infinite as long as the horde lasts. Takes out the minions and finishes the camp with melees. Melee attacks, excuse me. Philippe's fiance seems to have confidence in Philippe's Kel'Thuzad. I don't think that confidence is misplaced. They're now on the shrine. They have priority. These camps are going to... The blue camp is going to win with the towers. Hogger gets infinite spin. We'll see if it lasts this time. Trap goes out. It's going to hit Hogger eventually, but then it won't do anything. Riptire goes out. Dahaka's way in the back, looking for the Kel'Thuzad. Finds him, gets the stun, but not before the combo goes out on Stukov. That was kind of dirty. But that's what Kel'Thuzad's for. Danielson comes out of the cocoon, into the stun, into the root, into the chain. He's dead too. 30 versus 13. I think Caffeinated Knights wins this objective as Hogger is still spinning. He's a fun and interactive hero, as we all know. Punisher comes down mid lane, which the fort is already gone. Oh, snipes the Junkrat. Gets the reset. Sees the angle. If SCH wasn't paying attention, he would have gotten killed there. But he's too good for that. But this is a dangerous second Punisher. Gets baited over the wall, brought towards the top keep, but not nearly far enough. So the wall goes down. The next jump could spell disaster. There's a lot of CC to follow it up. It's going to jump in just a couple seconds here. Yeah, there it goes. Baited up enough. Ice wall comes out. That's big. That is very big. The Junkrat gets interrupted, but the silence is there anyway. The Riptire would have killed those two people, but they get the Tyrande anyway. There it goes. Cocoon comes out to save her, but it's just a moment too late. Minions take out top fort with the Hogger. And they didn't lose the game. They saved their keep. But then Stukov chased too far by himself. I'm not sure what happened, if switching their tank, if adding Holder, just they weren't as coordinated or practiced, but this is not the same game that the last one was. Not nearly as close. Okay, it's not Philippe, it's Felipe. My mistake. I apologize. I think it's because of the Disney Beauty and the Beast movie, because the horse is named Philippe. Which, you know, could be Disney pronouncing it wrong, I don't know. And Greymane gets out with 20 hit points. He gets sniped just as the heal comes, so he stays alive. That was close. 15 to 14, same talent tier. May's up in 13. This game's not over. It's just very, very good position for Caffeinated Knights. Dahaka, trying to be annoying, trying to do something cheeky, almost gets himself killed, but he has the adaptation, he has the essence. He has the speed. He's leading them on a merry chase. He gets cocooned though, and with the CC follow-up and 4 people here, Kel'Thuzad missed times. He gets out of the first one, but not the second, and he goes down. Ice Wall comes out to try and save him, but it's not enough. I didn't see any way that he was making it. He almost did, but yeah, that's dangerous. They do have a lot of CC on Caffeinated Knight's side, and you do not want to get caught. So they're just going to push down mid-keep, and I don't think they end, but I could be wrong. But with that Riptire coming out, dealing damage, pushing them back, they're just going to take this camp and get out. Dahaka's back up. They do have a 2-level lead. Well, in a moment it'll be 2. With a talent tier advantage. Kel'Thuzad with the Dragon Arrow, excuse me, to secure it. Just murders 2 people. And they're back to being down 2. And Caffeinated Knights are back to being able to do whatever they want. In this case, they're going to kill the Dahaka again. And I have a feeling that this game is over. So yes, the Kel'Thuzad, they didn't bring it out in the first game, which is, in my mind, Tomb of the Spider Queen is a small map, lots of brawling, easy to get stacks, and they brawled the entire time. I thought that would have been a great chance for Kel'Thuzad. But when you're this good, every map's a Kel'Thuzad map. Hanzo's taking a camp. Vendetta's just getting their 16s now, even talent tier. They're behind. They could fight. Hogger is doing the slow infinite. It's going to take him forever to cap this. But they're holding their camp. They've cleared it, but they haven't taken it. Maybe they're just waiting for the objective. He just missed the angle on this, so it ended. And now he's alone. He doesn't get stunned. Kel'Thuzad just casually kills a Junkrat on the way up. I missed that. Sorry about that. Ice Wall Hogger was unstoppable. Didn't get caught with it, but it traps unstoppable people, so I don't know what just happened there. And all of a sudden, Dahaka's alone. Camp's pushing, objectives coming. Maybe they were trying to time the camp with the objective, but it's a bit early. Hogger doesn't take the top one quite as fast. But they're just going straight for core. Or not. They can't decide if they're going straight for core. They're taking the keep, they're taking the core. They're doing both. It doesn't really matter at this point. There's a lot of pressure coming. But that could have been a little cleaner, I think. But 4 seconds until the whole team's up. Shields are down. Punisher's not even here yet. There is no second keep to bait it into. So Dahaka just tried to bait it backwards. Riptire almost takes out a catapult, but it's still on core. And the Punisher's on core. And the team's on core. And Kel'Thuzad dashes away. He doesn't even die. 18 kills to 2. This game, first 2 or 3 minutes were pretty even, and then it just snowballed. That was a bit of a stomp. But definitely well played by Caffeinated Knights. So, yeah. Turan died once, Kel'Thuzad died once. But that was it for their team. Kel'Thuzad didn't do the most damage because he was just killing people. If they're not staying alive and getting healed, you don't do quite as much. But he was definitely a dangerous, dangerous man. We're going to game 3 because that's 1-1. So the third game will decide the winner. Vendetta opts for first pick, which means Caffeinated Knights has to choose the map. They can take us wherever they want. We'll see if we get something spicy or not. Stukov actually did more healing than the Tyrande, but the Tyrande was clearly there for the follow-up stuns. Anub was landing good stuns. Kel'Thuzad was landing good stuns. Hanzo was getting good arrows. And we're going to Dragonshire. So for Dragonshire, the objective is split in 3 different places. There's a shrine top and the shrine bottom. If you stand on the shrine, you take control of it. If you control both at the same time, you can then go to the middle and channel on the Dragon Knight and become the dragon. So you need heroes that can sort of do well on their own to hold their own lane. You also need to win the team lane and then take mid. So it takes a lot of coordination. And yeah, it's a very different map for that reason. A lot of other objectives are in one place. You fight in one spot. This one, you fight in 3 spots. And typically what happens is, you know, a team gets a few kills and then they can control whatever they want and then they get it. In other objectives like the Infernal Shrines, you don't have to get any kills. You can just kill minions. Whoever does that faster wins. So there's lots of different ways to play this. We'll have to see what these teams go for. Looks like Vendetta is ready. I'm waiting to see if Caffeinated Knights are ready. Just waiting. There. They should be starting momentarily. Cricket noises. My legs are getting tired. I should need to stretch. Maybe they forgot that they were in control of the button. And by the way, just since we were talking about name pronunciations, I'm probably getting a bunch of them wrong. SCH could be sh. If that could be the preferred pronunciation, I don't know. Geosaurus, Geosharis. It could be a Chinese name. It could be anything. I don't know. So I'm just doing the best I can. But if anyone can correct me on anything, I'm more than willing to change. All right, first ban. This time it's on Vendetta's side. This is their first time they get real bans. And yeah, they could ban the Kel'Thuzad. They could ban the Stukov. They could ban the Junkrat. Or they can be like Caffeinated Knights and ban the Diva. I'm not sure. I'm kind of hoping to see the Diva because I want to know what that's all about because they banned it both times. They picked Hogger. Hogger did get value last time, but people like to take him on Infernal Shrines because of the angle of the infinite spin. It's fun, but I don't think it's all that. Nope, there's a Diva. Which means Vendetta might ban Joe or Rhaegar, but whatever. If they don't, Caffeinated Knights get whichever one they don't pick. So, is Rhaegar worth giving the other team Joe? Apparently. So they banned the Stukov, and Caffeinated Knights banned the Deathwing. So they don't want to see that again. Do they pick the Joe or do they pick the Rhaegar? Or do they pick neither and give them both? This is what banning in this patch has become. All about Joe and Rhaegar. Not surprising they take the Rhaegar. His level 1 totem slows attacks by 40% and spell power by 20%. And that was a very fast Dahaka Johanna pick. They knew what they were doing, and they knew exactly what they wanted. Dahaka is a good character because he can tunnel anywhere on the map into the bushes. So he can take top lane, and if he wins it, join the team and win the other lane and the other dragon. Hanzo switches teams. He's on Vendettas, and Sylvana switches teams. In the first game, she was on Caffeinated Knights. So a few archers. Personally, I think a gun beats a bow, but in this game, they're about equal. Well, personally, I choose lasers, but again, they do about the same amount of damage somehow. And these archers have infinite arrows, so I don't know what's with that. Artanis gets banned. Maybe the Artanis-Dahaka matchup favors him, I'm not sure. I only play those heroes in ARAM, so I don't have much practice. And a third ban for Vendetta. Junkrat. Not surprising. His traps can make rotations really hard. Rotating, which if your team rotates better, you get advantages. You take kills, you take shrines, you take objectives, you take the game. And Junkrat's traps and mines can really slow down rotations. They can really control space. Ana is a good hero, particularly when played with Li Ming. I was actually just watching a highlight reel of a Li Ming getting nano boosted and just solo annihilating like 4 people in about 3 seconds. So that could be fun to see. Not that I'm picking a side or anything, but we still haven't seen a Felipe choice. Kel'Thuzad wasn't banned. It could be Kel'Thuzad again, although most teams don't pick 2 mages. Anubarak comes back, and Yrel. Yrel, in the hands of a good player, can do a lot of damage, hold a lot of ground, disrupt a lot. So she's good in the solo. She's good when she comes down to join the team. All around solid. And Anub, you've seen on both teams a lot of good use. He's actually won both games, actually, hasn't he? Anub has a 100% win rate in this set. So Cassia, not quite a Kel'Thuzad, a little bit different, but also a good hero. Can do a lot of damage in the right hands. People generally take her for the blinds, although there's, I guess Sylvanas does a lot of autos. Hanzo can go auto attack, but he attacks so rarely he can just wait for the blind and not really lose anything. And Rhaegar is a healer, so his autos, they're not bad, but if he's getting up close to do them, he's probably in a bad spot. So there's lots of blinds on Caffeinated Knight's team. It is going to hurt Sylvanas' damage, but I'm not sure quite how much. We'll have to see. Let me change my scene to the in-game scene. I haven't forgotten yet. Hey, it's Prostman Pat. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping by. We're in Game 3. Just to give you a recap, Vendetta won Game 1. It was a super close back and forth match. I recommend watching it on the VOD later. It was so much fun. Like, oh my goodness. Like the whole game was really tense. You never knew what was going to happen. And then Caffeinated Knights came back and stomped Game 2. Introducing the teams, we'll go red side first this time. Josris on the Rhaegar, Zalgojak on the Yrel, Danielson on the Sylvanas, Haldir on the Anub, and Shh on the Hanzo. For Caffeinated Knights, Love Dart on Ana, Osmanthus on Joe, Grey Color on Ming, Ark on Dahaka, and Felipe spinning like a mad person on Cassia. I was going to say mad woman, but I'm assuming it's a guy. Because his fiance's in chat. And the fiance's named Lauren, which sounds like a girl's name. I could be totally wrong. But Hanzo gets annihilated. Just like the other games, there's a big brawl mid, but this time the CC and the Dahaka drag definitely favored Caffeinated Knights. Bringing up the talents, I'm expecting to see, yep, there's a totem, yep, there's a blind. These are not surprises. Haldir going for the very short range 2-man engage against 3, which very quickly became 4. And, oh my, yeah, he goes down. He almost got saved. He got the shield during the healing reduction and then the heal, but it wasn't quite enough. I will say I do like that Caffeinated Knights is using healers like Tyrande and Ana. You don't see them quite as often. And it's fun to see more heroes get play. Top lane, no one's winning. Even bottom lane. Camp invade. They see this coming. They're there to fight it. Felipe takes a ton of damage, a ton of CC. So I don't know if this invade is going to happen. But I don't think they're going to die either. Dahaka did come down, Yrel did come down, so it's 5 versus 5. But Vendetta gets their own camp, and Caffeinated Knights doesn't. So Vendetta wins that invade, definitely. As the solo laners go up to their own lanes again, it's just a question of rotations now. Vendetta is not interested in invading. Game 1 was Tomb of the Spider Queen. And yes, I said your name right because I'm actually on stream now and people can hear me. I do it wrong when we're just in game with ourselves because it's difficult to say and I'm lazy. Top lane, Dahaka has the shrine for the moment, but Urel has the wave. It's going to switch in a second. Bottom lane, they could have had the shrine, but they just decided to back off. Mid lane, Rhaegar's soaking. There's rotations everywhere. Sylvanas went top. This is tank versus tank with the Hanzo, but there's a big fight top as the camp's getting pushed in. Ming comes for the flank. You don't often see a flanking Ming. But Vendetta has the opportunity for the dragon. They did push Joe back eventually. They're not converting top. Ming's defending mid though. Rhaegar gets dragged. And there's a big sleep on 2. But Felipe's low on mana. Can't keep that up forever. No one's contesting bottom, so Hanzo's getting free clear, a free push and soak. Here comes Joe. Joe will be able to push Hanzo off. Hanzo will win the damage race eventually against a Joe, but not on a single point. They can't stand toe-to-toe. And with the Ana coming down, 1 versus 2, but then it's 3 versus 1 mid, so Ming guns away. These teams are rotating like crazy, and just like game 1, lots of constant action. Dahaka's going to take top shrine, no problem. Bottom shrine is already capped, but Vendetta's going to take it back very shortly. So no dragon. 7 versus 7. We might get heroics before the first dragon comes out. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Although it also wouldn't surprise me for one team to just, in a blink of an eye, slaughter the other. But I don't know which team that would be. Urel heals herself. Does she get the jump? No, she has the instant mount. That's enough. Escapes the gank just barely. That was very close. But it's 3 versus 3 and 2 versus 0 mid. Slight experience advantage for the Dahaka side with his global. But only slight. It's level 8 versus level 8. They have about a third of a level lead. Nice dodge on that tongue. Big fight mid. The anti-healing zone. Daniel-san gets the Wraith. What is it? Banshee Stride, we'll call it that. I know there's a name and I know what it is, but my brain didn't, access that information. There's too much going on. Ming gets the dragon mid. In the meantime. Still a big fight happening bottom. Sylvanas goes to clear the dragon. I'm very surprised that she got kicked from that. Because she had the unstoppable. And when the unstoppable ended, she was behind the wall. So I think there's some shenanigans going on there. But that time, she got the unstoppable, but it ended and he got in range. So that time it makes sense to me. But Li Ming is going to be in trouble when this ends. Urel's going to be fine. Actually, she won't get pushed back by the dragon ending. Oh, she will. There's a sleep on Urel, so that saved the Ming, because otherwise she would have definitely jumped on her. So that was good peels from the healer. Meanwhile, the Haka is just soaking by himself. We have 10s. Falling Sword, not a surprise. Isolation, that's a different one from last time. Wave of Force, Nano Boost, definitely expected. And Valkyrie. The Valkyrie did connect. The Nano Boost went out, but with only really the a noob to hit with the 40 spell armor, nothing really bad happens there. The camp invade does come through. I don't know what to say. There's just people fighting and dying everywhere. Damage going out everywhere. A noob goes down first. I did see a wailing arrow. Health bars are low. But it looks like the Ming resets are coming through. And Caffeinated Knights gets 3 for nothing. That was a very tense moment. The Hanzo, a Dragon Strike did come through the whole hallway here. Didn't come out to any kills, but a lot of damage. The Wailing Arrow did come through. The Ancestral Healing came through. The Cocoon went out. and the Ardent Defender. But no kills for Vendetta. And it's 5-0 this game. But that could change. One level lead for Caffeinated Knights as the soaking continues. No structures down on either side. Ming doing her solo lane thing. Camp being taken back and forth. Tongue gets missed. But just auto-attacking each other. They thought about invading the camp. Didn't quite do it. I don't know if they weren't quite in time. But Ming is scouted out on the bottom and does not start it. But she... I was going to say she knows they're down here, but apparently she doesn't because she's shooting missiles the wrong way. They're going for the camp, and in doing so, they just completely give up the dragon. Mid-fort definitely is down already, but they do have a camp to counter-push a little bit as Irel comes in to stop the dragon. I'm not sure how effective she's going to be on it. The dragon ignores the towers, goes straight for the building. Not a bad plan when you're not really being harassed. Irel's autos aren't exactly crazy. She does... does she? Hang on. She has the option to get % damage on her hammers, but she doesn't have it. I don't know what level that's at. The Sylvanas is going to be a lot better, but she's taking a lot of damage as well. Top fort should go down. Yeah, there it goes. But the dragon's almost dead, so that's about all they're going to get. My throat is getting dry. I don't have many friends. I don't usually talk this often. Dragon goes down. It was Joe in it. I don't see her going down to just a Sylvanas and a Rhaegar. Oof. Oof, that feels bad. That Rhaegar got chunked, and then the Ancestral didn't quite come out in time. Hanzo in a tight corner gets killed. Again, Caffeinated Knights are low, but not dead. Sylvanas... Ouch. She was sort of safe from that orb, and then she used her Unstoppable and went right through it. And being unstoppable doesn't mean you don't take damage, and so that just annihilated her. So it feels bad, but she was low and didn't have too many places to go anyway.
Blue team has destroyed a fort.
Yeah, they're pushing in on bottom. They have one Siege Giant and a decent-sized wave, but all 5 members are up. Irel is coming for the flank. This could be an opportunity to get some counter kills finally. The noob gets a stun, but Irel gets slept. Now she's in a bad position, but she has that movement speed with the Blessing of Freedom and gets out. It was an opportunity. They're down a talent here, but it's, under your towers, it's a decent risk to take. Didn't pay off, but it also didn't kill you. That Dahaka went around the wall for that drag. Very adventurous, but he pulls it off. Ardent Defender, Irel's not in any danger, but they did lose their noob. This game is looking like it's going to start snowballing, but it's not over. The Sleep Dart misses. Irel does do a decent amount of harass, and the team chasing her stops sieging the bottom. Irel, she's going for a lot of soak. She's being chased. I don't know how much in danger she's in. She can jump. She can't jump while she's asleep, but she should be able to jump over a wall. I guess not. So she was definitely in danger. And we have a pause. I can't see... No, I can see their chat, so... I don't know what the reason for this is. But I guess we're going to take a short break. And in the meantime, We've seen heroics. Ana can remove stuns. Li Ming has Calamity and Diamond Skin. Don't see that too often. Healing on blinds. Yeah, Fen gets lightning bolts. She didn't go protected, which I like to do because, you know, pretend like you're a tank. We do have burning beetles, so more beetle talents. We have the totem talents for the Rhaegar. APM doesn't matter. XP doesn't matter. Damage dealt. I don't switch screens during pauses. Sorry, Pressman, but I don't have the APM to deal with stuff. I don't have other screens to switch to. Hanzo is actually doing quite a bit of hero damage, even more than Ming. Just not quite confirming the kills. He's getting big dragon strikes, but it's splitting damage among the other team. It's not focused. The Li Ming damage is a lot more focused with the CC from the drags and everything. Otherwise, Urala is doing a decent amount of tanking, actually. Surviving quite a bit. I don't know where the experience bar is. That's somewhere. You know what? I can just do the standard thing. Yeah, Dahaka's doing the most experience, and Ming's actually second, so... I mean, they are ahead, so it would make sense. And we're back. I don't know who's in charge of pausing or non-pausing, but... Cocoon went out. Camp's getting cleared very quickly. So I'm just laughing at Yatre and his love of Latin. Yatre is Mexican in Canada. So he speaks English, Spanish, and French. I almost said he speaks Mexican. He does not speak Mexican because nobody speaks Mexican. Big tongue onto the Sylvanas. The ancestral healing is a little too late. Resets come through with the Ming. The Cassia ult picks up the Rhaegar, and that's 3 members dead. That was unfortunate. 13 kills to 0. Hoping Vendetta at least gets 1. Hoping they get many and it skyrockets and they get some buildings. Irel stops the dragon from being channeled and then immediately hearths. She doesn't capture the shrine, she just cancels it. She's been caught out a bit. So playing safer is definitely the way to go. I guess Joe is baiting the camp or just waiting for the dragon to line them up together. But in any case, holding it slightly to get a bit of an advantage. Maybe making it push with the wave instead of before the wave. And Joe gets the channel. There's no way there's a stop to this. The giants get cleared for free, but the dragon's coming, and so the giants don't really matter. And there's 2 more camps coming bot lane. So the dragon's going to go bot with the camps, it looks like. Li Ming with her Aether Walker and shields is just blinking all over the place. And the defense begins. Keep wall's already down. The Will of the Forsaken preventing the kick, so more damage on the dragon. Dragon Strike comes through, hits a couple of ticks. But dragon's at half. Fort goes down. The Valkyrie takes the Rhaegar again. That's gotta feel bad. And the isolation on the Anub, Li Ming on the back with the Anub. The team just split up and just killed everyone in every direction. And the Ardent Defender keeps Urel alive, but there's only so much you can interrupt. And she goes down just before the core. 17 kills to 0. Third game, kind of like the second. A bit one-sided. So GG's to both teams. It was definitely exciting. The first match was my favorite. That shouldn't surprise anyone. I don't know what happened to their fifth player. I don't know what that would have meant for the other two matches, but it is what it is. And yeah, Caffeinated Knights wins this round. Let me see. Arc. We'll see if he wants to do a quick interview. In the meantime, someone asking if I want to join Storm League. Looking at the numbers. Yeah, okay, let's see. Discord, CCS. There's got to be a lobby somewhere. Okay, so we have Arc for an interview. And you're welcome for the stream. I do enjoy when I have the chance to. Just waiting for Arc to join the channel. There he is. Hello.
Peter.
Hey.
There are two of you. How is it going? Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
I really want to talk about that first game. How did you feel about that one?
Like, my garage really needs more work. It's not ready for prime time.
That's kind of what we have these games for. But
Yeah.
I think Vendetta played the first game really well. Their draft, I think,
Oh, yeah.
countered us like kind of perfectly. The Deathwing pick really made Dress for Our Life a bit tough.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we got roasted by those wins
Yeah.
quite a bit.
And
Stood in fire.
me and the few people we had watching in my chat, there was just constant back and forth surprise. You know, one team's ahead, now the other team's ahead, now it's back.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell who was going to win until the very last moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a few times where it was like, this is our game. And I'm always like, oh, no, this is their game now. And we still have some more time to play. It was kind of like that for us in the middle of the game as well.
So you faced these teams
Oh, yeah.
before, or this team before.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping that I'd see the Diva because you banned it every time. Why is that?
The basic strategy that I had for that was Zalgo, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, or her name, their name. I'll use the introduction from now on, but okay. The point is, one of the things we noticed with Cursory Scouting is that Zalgo, they have a fairly narrow roster. You know, Diva, 700 levels. They've got another...
700, really?
Yeah, it's a 700 level Diva. The next one down's like 30 levels, and then it's 15. So I was bit by bit developing a sort of off-the-cuff strategy of, okay, who cares about the meta? Let's just say, all right, let's choke this one guy out in particular and put him off his game.
Yeah, okay.
So-
that makes sense.
So by the time, you know, you were getting to the excessive Deathwing, Artanis bans, like first, second picking Dahak on Dragonshire, all of that was just to limit one guy's pool of champions to throw the whole team off.
Fair enough. And
Like Heroes of the Storm is one of those games where, yeah, you can carry, but you can definitely be the opposite of a carry if you're put in a bad way.
Yeah, and someone with 700 levels in a hero, you think they'd probably
Yeah.
want to play it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
imagine.
their comfort pick. It's what they're used to. It's what their team is also likely used to. So then you change their whole rules behind strategies just by throwing their baseline off.
All right. So what do you think turned it around for you in games 2 and 3?
For me,
we just
anyway.
have gotten our bearings together too, partially. First game, I think, at least based on some of our previous games, I think we didn't expect some of the draft changes and the way the first game draft would have gone. And I think once we saw that, we had a
The
better idea of what we
Deathwing
needed
definitely
to answer.
blindsided us. It was a really good pick that answered a lot of problems. So
Yeah,
I would say I would contribute it as the most important reason why they had such a huge.
I saw that
success
the
in that first
Deathwing was
game.
really good against the Junkrat traps, and even
Dealt with the mines, and neither of our DPS could really do enough damage up and down. Especially not with the efficiency of the Neobarak.
even the Stukov arm caught him a couple times and it just doesn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. And
So
it's also frustrating for me if I'm playing Garrosh because I'm not a threat to him.
Yeah.
Like, Deathwing can just sort of walk up to me, body block me, stun me, and, I'm never going to get anything done there. Deathwing's a really interesting champ in that he's very strong tech pick in a lot of ways. If you can put the damage on him, he's a paper tiger. But if you can't, there's so much he can do to go wild.
So we have Felipe's fiance in chat, and she's been watching, and she saw the Kalthazad and was like, "This game's over."
I mean,
yeah, Felipe's Kalthazad was
godly
rocking.
KTZ. And understand, back in Nexus, when he was running with Beef Boys, even though he was the main tank, people still banned the KTZ because he had left that much trauma in various teams.
Yeah, it's a strong hero in the right hands, and we saw it once, and he's definitely in the right hands.
Oh, yeah. But...
So yeah, I don't have too many other questions. So if you have anything else you want to say about the games or about your heroes or about shoutouts or whatever you want.
Shout out to Vendetta. I do want to fight them again. They've always been a pleasure to go against.
In
yeah.
Heroic this season NGS.
Yeah. We are pumped up to fight them because they tore us a new one a few seasons back.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them giving you a challenge, so that's good.
Oh, yeah. It's a strong game. But, yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Glad for the chats.
That's all, I think.
Bye.
Okay.
Hope you have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for good GGs.
GGs.
Okay, hopefully all that went through. Sometimes, Discord doesn't get picked up or something, but thanks for watching, and GGs to both teams, and hopefully we'll get more casts in the future. So I'm just sort of padding the time because when I stop my stream, it may just cancel the last 25 seconds or so. But have a good night, everybody.